Hi, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTracker.com, and today I'm here to tell you the truth about motorcycle stands. The reason we're doing this today is I wanted to do a new shopping guide for stands. We've got some changes, the product mix that we offer, and I wanted to really make sure I educated everybody. And then I realized real quickly that I needed to have some other visual aids because there are so many stands on the market. You go to some of these third-party shopping sites, you type in motorcycle stand, and there's an unbelievable amount of stuff that comes up. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, I'm gonna open up with this. The two that I'm promoting are Pitbull and Woodcraft. You bet your ass they are the most expensive out there, and there's a reason, because they are the best. And I'm gonna prove that to you in this video. That stand that I folded in half and threw on the ground, well, that's my man Jimmy Fox's old stand. He has since, after learning a very hard lesson, switched to Pitbull stands. His 750 actually fell off of that piece of garbage. He failed to heed the warning that says, don't sit on this bike when the bike is on this piece of garbage stand. So technically, I guess you could say it's Jimmy's fault for not reading the fine print. I will also promise you this. You sit on this bike with a Pitbull or a Woodcraft stand, it's not gonna fall over. If it does, you did something wrong. We've got another special stand here. Jimmy actually stole this from his roommate. His roommate has no idea that we have this piece of garbage here. Jimmy's actually gonna give him a Pitbull stand for Christmas to make up for it. But nonetheless, with no permission, we've got this harbor, and the other word starts with an F. Remember, everything here is my opinion, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody, I'm just here to tell you the truth. This is a lover. Look at this. Look at this. Is gonna hold your bike up? This little piece of pot metal? Seriously? Let's put this one to the strength test. We're gonna use a different test this time, just to keep it fair and interesting. And let's just, yeah, that's quality right there. Let's use my bike as an example as I help you choose the right product and I break down why. Okay, breaking those stands, that was a lot of fun. No doubt that was a lot of fun, but I got a lot more information to share with you than just that. This R1, brand new, $17,000. I put a lot of great parts on this bike. I'm way over 20 at this point, and I'm not the only person that has done this with their bike. So when you get to the point where you're buying a stand, let's say you don't have a lot of experience and you see this trackside stand. I saw a video on another retailer site where they told you this thing's great. Now I'm gonna share my opinion. So remember, everything I say is in my opinion as a human being and a fellow motorcycle rider. Looking at this, first thing I notice is, well, it's made in China. A lot of stuff's made in China. That's okay. Pitbull and Woodcraft, both made in the United States of America, which I think is kick-ass. It's got a retail of $119.99. Well, I was able to buy this for $59. So this is worth only half of the retail? Well, after getting the stand and inspecting the stand, I'll tell you this. It may look like a Pitbull, because I honestly, when I look at this, they certainly took influence from that design. They basically copied it and did a really half-assed job, in my opinion. I'm gonna show you exactly why it's half-assed. First, we're gonna start with the supports. The tolerance right here is horrible. These aren't even lined up properly. Pot metal fasteners. Most importantly, I want you to look right here, and I want you to look here. Look at these welds. I want you to look at the gauge of the material that they're using. And now to give you a real nice visual, I'll hold that right here, and oh look what I happen to have. That's a Pitbull Top Support. So while in a picture they might look the same, I'll promise you right now, that isn't even close. The dude who owns Pitbull is from the aerospace industry. He forgot more about stress and materials than most people will ever know. And he puts all that into the stands that he builds every single day. Look at the welds. Those are welded by hand right there in Huntsville, Alabama. I've actually seen it done. A little more information. When they bring in a new welder, a fully certified new welder that could go to any job and weld all kinds of stuff from day one, well, he starts off welding these parts only. And then the most experienced person there, who's been there for many years, he checks every single part for quality, and if there's any issues at all, he touches them up and re-welds them. That, my friend, is quality control. And once this welder is to the point where Pitbull, where Charlie, the owner of Pitbull, feels good about his skills, they then turn them loose onto larger items. I can assure you, looking at this stuff, their level of quality control ain't even close. I definitely need to show you the latest version from Woodcraft. The quality of this thing, and look at the design, it is totally different from Pitbull's. Eric and Charlie both, these guys are engineers, right? They engineer these products here. There's a tremendous amount of effort that goes into these things, and it shows. But the quality of assembly, the quality of welds, also built here in the US. These other pieces that do sell for less money, maybe half the price, it's, once again, not even close. Their performance is also not even close. So, through my motorcycle stand journey, I learned something else today that I thought was real interesting. Actually, Video Steve found it in about 30 seconds. We were getting another display model ready for our comparison, and Steve went over and he found what looks exactly like this on good old Alibaba. And it looks like if you make enough, well, they're about 20 bucks a piece, somewhere right around there. In my opinion, this stand could very well be from Alibaba. There's no engineering in this. There's, in my opinion, no product development in this. Somebody bought this thing in gross and they put a sticker on it and they think that makes them a brand. I personally disagree with that. That's all flex in the stand, just to be clear. Now, boy, I bet you this one. I bet you this one's gonna have flex, huh? Well, yeah. Now, I'm not talking about imperfections in the concrete, not that. I'm talking about the tubing flexing. There's none of that. You can't have your motorcycle supported by something that's unstable and flexes that easy, in my opinion. Remember, I'm not an engineer either, I'm just a motorcycle rider. Well, I was a mechanic too. That's the wrong way to go. Okay, we talked about quality design, we talked about a lot of stuff with the rear stand. The front stand from Trackside. This is a design I've never used before. These style pads is fairly interesting. The overall quality of this, that's not horrible. It feels sturdy, 4 wheels, all that good stuff. And I saw another video somewhere else where they said this thing was really good. The only reason, I want to clarify this, the only reason that I will even lift my motorcycle, I love this bike, with this stand is because it's sitting on a Pitbull rear, okay? And I believe that if this thing the bet on me, that thing's got my back. We're gonna get it into position the way it works. I'm gonna get it behind the fork bottoms there. Okay, well that was really easy, right? Ready? Now I'm gonna lift it up. Okay. I'm not faking this, FYI, okay? Man, that's 7 different colors of sketchy, in my opinion. The lifting effort was not great. I don't like the way it's sitting. The bike doesn't feel stable on it. I'm gonna go ahead and take it down now. I wanna show you the other 2. Let's open up my man Eric's brand new adjustable front. Go ahead and get that in there and see what his lifting effort's like. Well, I think doesn't even have a handle on it, and that was no effort. Adjustable height here. Eric's got some really super sweet features he built into this. Once again, his design stands apart from everybody's. Feels really stable. Now I'll get to the gold standard. I gotta show you this too. The R1 and the R6 that have the ABS, the wheel speed sensor in the front, they developed a different swivel for the hybrid front stand to accommodate for that, to make lifting easier and avoid touching that at all. And that's another thing that Pitbull brings to the table that no one else does, is they will tailor their products and parts to certain bikes so that you get that same Pitbull quality experience and performance. Let's check the lifting effort here. Yeah. Okay. How does the bike feel on there? Well, of course. Would I sit on it? Would I sit on it? Mind you, I put on a couple of pounds. This is the holiday season. My wife's a hell of a cook. We just had really nice. Wait, hey Jimmy, did you notice? My bike didn't fall, pal. Okay, we gotta keep it real for sure, and I have to subject the Pitbull and the Woodcraft to the same scientific tests that I used on the other two models that unfortunately failed to pass. Look at this, this one's old. I've had this a long time. And I'm gonna see if I can grab the uprights and just crush this. Are you ready? Not gonna happen. But I bet you I can rip this thing apart. Okay. I think it moved a little bit, and then it sprung right back, and I literally pulled that as hard as I could. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm gonna do this anyways. Ready? Yeah, that's not gonna happen here. Now let's talk about features and benefits. Another great reason to buy these stands. They're gonna perform better, period. What separates these two? Eric, with his new stand line, adjustable height. So you can dial in the amount of lift, which has everything to do with the amount of force that's going to be applied, okay? You realistically only need to have the tire off the ground about 2 inches. This allows you to do just that. So reduced lifting effort, tons of stability, built in some cool little features here to hold axles, hold nuts, great stuff. We have steel body with aluminum uprights, super creative design, full reviews on that. The front also adjustable height, and then it has the ability to hold the axle and also the axle nut. Pitbull. There's so many options. I'm going to be here for a long time talking about it because remember, bike specific stuff. We've got removable handles. Look at that. Watching them make this stuff down there is so cool. Zinc plated. They use the heaviest grade tubing out there, bar none. It is the strongest stuff. Literally designed by an actual rocket scientist. That is no BS whatsoever. The quality of workmanship on this, absolutely amazing. They have a stand for almost every bike out there. Remember Pitbull, the trailer restraints and stuff. These two products, Woodcraft and Pitbull, you're talking a lifespan of, I don't know, like that long. You're gonna replace bikes over and over before you replace these. The warranty on Pitbull, and I just learned this today too, it's lifetime actually. And let's just say they haven't really warranted stuff because, well, it actually just doesn't fail. That's the way it is. So there you have it. If you're looking for a stand, buy a Woodcraft, buy a Pitbull. Those are the two best in the industries. Compare those two. We have videos on all of it. Pick the one that has the features and the benefits that appeal to you most and make that investment to protect your investment so you have a good experience that lasts a long time. Saving 50, 60, 70 bucks by these pretend brands. They're literally, it looks like they're ordering the stuff from Alibaba and putting a sticker on it. That's also horrible for the industry. When you work with Pitbull or Woodcraft, you purchase their products, hopefully from us, that'd be wonderful, we'd appreciate that. You're supporting American companies with American workers that are building amazing products, and they're putting a lot of R&D into these products, and that makes the sport better for all of us. You buy the Chinese knockoff, the copycat stuff, there's no R&D, they do nothing to move the sport or the industry forward, and I personally think, well, that's a mistake. There you have it. Motorcycle stands, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Remember, this is only my opinion, so nobody can be pissed at me. I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTracker.com.